What's up, everybody? This is Chris with The Reason for Believing, and I haven't put a video out in a while. I've been working a lot and doing a lot of studying, and I just had to make a video on this. Been studying a lot of the minor prophets, and they're very interesting and very relevant, and there's so much information in there. I think those are like the group of books that gets overlooked the most are the minor prophets. Basically all the prophet books in the Old Testament, other than Daniel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Isaiah. And I've got some other videos that I need to put together, specifically on Haggai and Zechariah. But these are very interesting times that we live in, people, and the it's just crazy. Like everything that's been going on lately, not just in the world sense, but like in the truth. There's a movement of truth. The spirit of truth is operating in full effect right now. Like there's so much truth that's being revealed to us in these end times, and I've found a lot of stuff in the scriptures lately. But one thing I wanted to share tonight, this is going to be a two-part actually, because once you come across one truth, it opens the door for just other things to come in and to be explained, right? And when you seek, you will find. When you look for the truth, when you're led to the truth, it will be there, and you will be led to more truth and more truth if you're hungry and seeking our Father's ways, and seeking to know what the reality of this world is and what the truth is, and we have to know what the lies are. So anyways, I want to talk about this book tonight, called Habakkuk. It's a very short book, 3 chapters. Haven't heard a lot of information on it. There's like a prayer that Habakkuk does, and people, the whole meaning of the scripture is lost. Like it's just, and this is what I'm talking about. Things are being revealed in these end times. Like this book right here, to me, it's just crazy, and I've never heard anybody talk about it like this before. And the other, there's 2 other books in the Old Testament that I've just never heard anybody teach on the way that I see it. So I'm looking for other people to bear witness to this, and we all see through the glass dimly, right? One day we see in part, we prophesy in part, we understand in part, things are revealed to us in part, but one day we will know, even as he is known, even as we know him, right? The Messiah. So, bear with me on this, and just let's learn. I want to share this because I want to have other people be able to help me understand more of what this means. But it's just interesting, the things that are revealed to us in these times, right? We don't have all the answers. We don't know exactly what all this means and how everything is going to happen, but things are being revealed to us. That's just how it is. So here we go. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Yahuwah, how long shall I cry, and you will not hear, even cry unto thee of violence, and you will not save? Why do you show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that rise up strife and contention. Now, if any of you are in the truth movement, getting back to just the truth that's in the Word of God, with the Word of Yah, and just the reality of this world that we live in. There's so many lies, so much deception, so much truth has been hidden from us, right? And this is exactly what he's saying. You can't mention something. I mean, you talk about food, you have to talk about GMOs. You talk about the air, you have to talk about chemtrails. Like it's just, and so I look at this and I say, yeah, like how long will we cry to you, right? Of all this violence and all this, you know, this iniquity, you cause me to behold iniquity every day. All I see around me is just sin and unrighteousness. All I see in the world's agendas is just, it's a grievance, right? For spoiling and violence are before me. That's all I see around me is just the the people of the rulers of this world, you know, just coming in and just taking people's freedoms, creating violence. I mean, there's just so, this is so like relevant to where we're at today, right? And there are those that rise up strife and contention. That's all over Christianity and like the truth community. I mean, it's just it's insane. All right, and he says, therefore, verse 4, the Torah is slacked, and judgment never goes forth, for the wicked compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceeds. And if anybody knows Torah and how, you know, the truth is being attacked, you know, and how the truth of the Torah has been lost, so, you know, here we go, the Torah is slacked, and judgment does not go forth, right? The judgment doesn't go forth because people don't understand what the, the judgment is about, you know, having anything to do with Torah or being righteous, or, you know, the whole system is just backwards. So verse 5 says, behold you among the heathen, and regard and wonder and marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which you will not believe, even if it be told to you. So basically, this is Yah's response to what Habakkuk is saying. He's saying, look at all the stuff that's going on in this world right now. Like, what the heck? And Yah's just like, I love this verse because it's so encouraging. Just, you know, if you find yourself in the position that I'm in, this should be so encouraging to you. He says, behold you among the heathen. That's you, Nasarim, you know, follower of the way, a real believer, a real person that's walking with the Messiah. This is for you. Behold you among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which you will not believe, though it be told to you. Now, I believe I know what that's talking about, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's crazy. This stuff's crazy. So in verse 6 says, for lo, I will raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. All right, now this is where it gets a little interesting. It starts to talk about a certain nation. Okay, keep this in mind, the nation. And it says, I'll raise up the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans was basically Babylon, right? As the Babylonian dynasty. It was called the Chaldean dynasty, right? They were, we're gonna read about them, right? And it's basically just when you see Chaldeans, just think Babylon, okay? So they are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Remember, they march through the breadth of the land to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. So you'll have to ask yourself, as we're looking at this, what nation is this talking about, right? This is a shadow. Remember, the Old Testament, the things that happened in the Old Testament, they were examples to us. They were foreshadows of what's to come. They were examples for us, right? So when we see things that were prophesied, we're the book of the prophets and Psalms and in the Torah and everything, we have to look at it as this could be a shadow of what's to come. And there's many, many examples on that have been fulfilled and that still are shadows of things to come. And again, it's not going to happen exactly the same way, right? There's going to be enough similarities in these things to where you can say, okay, yeah, that's something prophetic, or yeah, we can see that that's happened, or that it's going, that's happening now, right? So keep that in mind, that what he's talking about is talking about a specific nation. This nation will be raised up, bitter and hasty, march through the earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. Terrible and dreadful, their judgment and their dignity shall precede themselves. Their horses are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that hastens to eat. To me, that sounds like horsemen, a instrument of battle, right? Which would be modern day horsemen would be fighter planes. They shall fly as the eagle that hastens to eat. Well, horses don't fly. Okay. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. All right, I'm just gonna, if nobody's kind of figured it out yet, this is America, right? Babylon. America can be labeled many labels. One of them Babylon, and you could, people argue that, it's, Jerusalem is Babylon. Well, you got to remember, Babylon is a world kingdom. It's a kingdom that covers the whole earth, right? It's a system. It's not necessarily just a single nation, right? Babylon was a system. It's the beast system. It's what it is. But it's here specifically talking about a nation. And everything that I just read, everything that the scripture is saying, is America. It is. Wow. Who else goes into other countries and just takes stuff over? America. Who goes into whose judgment, right, and dignity precedes themselves? America, right? Who's got the fighter planes? America. Who's, let's just keep going. All right, it says, they will come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. What it's basically saying here is, with violence, they will look to the east. What's the east? The Middle East. Where is all of our conflicts ever been? That way, east. I mean, we go west, or, depending on how you want to look at a map, but let's just go west. There, we haven't messed with China ever, but all of our problems are in the east. All of them, all of them have been in the east. Vietnam kind of a little bit more, but regardless, right? They shall scoff at kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. All right, if you listen to the way that our leadership talks about other countries, so disrespectful. Yeah, people have no respect for other people. Regardless what you think about them. Just the way that, our current president has talked about other people in power in other nations, and the way I've heard Obama and other people talk about, they scoff at the kings and princes. And they will be a scorn to them, and they shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Just come in and take over places. That's what America does. All right, then his mind shall change, then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God. Art thou not from everlasting, O Yahuwah, my Elohim, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Yahuwah, thou hast ordained them for judgment, and O mighty Yah, thou hast established them for correction. So America, once again, people have been saying it for a long time. Judgment, correction is coming to you, just like judgment and correction came to the nation Israel, because they were given the responsibility of being the light to the world. Well, who is the new Israel in a sense? Not the little country over there, but America. America had been given the right to the light, to pass the gospel to the world. And in some ways, we have done that. In a lot of ways, the whole gospel is perverted nowadays. I mean, you can't go to a church and actually hear what the real gospel is. I've been to many, and it's not. Anyways, getting off topic. All right. All right, so we have America established for judgment and correction. You are of purer eyes than to behold evil. You cannot look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and hold thy tongue when the wicked devours the man that is more righteous than he, and makes men as the fishes of the sea, as the creeping things that have no ruler over them. They take up all of them with the angle, they catch them in their net. They gather them in the drag before they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice to their net and burn incense into their drag, because by them their portion is fat and their meat plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net and not spare continually to slay the nations? Again, America, just idolatrous nation, giving glory to the works of their hands, to their own lusts and pride, and has not stopped to continue to slay the nations. Right? Habakkuk chapter 2. Oh, snap. Minor technical difficulties. I didn't have my internet plugged in. I don't use Wi-Fi, so I forgot to plug my Ethernet cord in. I don't put on fancy YouTube videos, guys, so I apologize. You'll just, if you want to learn, that's what we're here to do. I'm not here to feed your fancy, to give your eyes something nice to look at. I'm called to share the truth, and that's it. To preach the gospel and to share the truth. So yeah, you're going to have to deal with some technical difficulties and deal with me reading, and yeah. So another message to you people out there who are seeking to follow the Messiah and to operate by the Spirit of truth. And this is to you. I will stand upon my watch. Anybody who knows anything about the Nazarene will know what this is talking about. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say to me, and what shall I answer when I am reproved. And Yahuwah answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tables, that he may run that reads it. Now this is what most of the teachings that I've heard on Habakkuk talk about. And everybody uses these, just few verses right here. Run, write the vision, make it plain, that he may run who reads it. The vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Wait, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Yeah. But what is he talking about? He says, write this vision and make it plain on tables, that he may run that reads it. Well, okay, we have some more kind of similar lines to the first chapter, and then the third chapter is like this prayer of Habakkuk, right? So what's the vision? Where's the vision? And this will be explained in a later video, but this is what I was talking about in the first chapter 1 verses 5 or 6, when it says, behold, I will do a marvelous work in your day, and you won't even believe it if it's told to you, right? And I believe this is the same thing he's talking about. This vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that reads it. But I don't ever see a vision here. I mean, I see a description of this nation, but I don't see this crazy wondrous work here, unless you understand some of the other writings, some of the other prophets, right? So you can't just isolate one book of the Bible and expect to understand exactly what the book is talking about. You have to understand the whole Bible, not every detail of it, but for the most part, you have to be able to see what some of the central themes are. And because this one topic I've been studying, I've found it in like so many books, and I thought it was just in like one or two. But so I'm getting off topic again. Well, not really, but anyways. So, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay? Now, but the just shall live by his faith. Remember chapter 1, verse 5. Behold you among the heathen, right? Live by his faith. All right. You also, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man. Now, still, we're talking about this nation, right? Just keep that in mind. He transgresses by wine. He's proud man. Neither keeps at home, who enlarges his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathers unto him all nations, and heaps unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long? And to him that lades himself with thick clay. Interesting. A proud, drunk nation. The other people of the world take up a proverb against this nation to say, woe to him that increases, which is not his. I mean, what does the rest of the world think about America? Does anybody ever think about that? Like, I want to put out messages like to the rest of the people of the world, the normal, regular people in like different countries, and be like, look, we're not all like what the media tries to make us look like. We're not like, I'm not out here promoting Trump or this Republicans or Democrats or, we're not all brainwashed like that. We don't all believe all that nonsense that goes on in our country. No president has ever represented me, or any other person for that matter. It's all just agendas, and it's all just a facade. It's just a show, right? But the rest of the world looks at us in the light that the propaganda that's given to them, and they look at us and they think that we're crazy and we're fools and we're all these things. Like, there's countries that have said that America is the Satan of the world, and like just crazy stuff. Like, we have to kind of step back sometimes and realize and look at what other people think about us and how other people are seeing things happen and how we fit in the viewpoint of other people. And when it says that to him that lades himself with thick clay, that word actually means heavy debts. Think about that for a minute. $23 trillion in debt or whatever. Most countries are in some form of debt. But, I mean, USA, I think we top the list. If not, we're right up there. I mean, we're a nation built upon debt. As soon as we're born into this world, we are a debt slave, right? We are servitudes to the almighty debtor, and that the debtor, and that would be that is the United States, the corporation of the United States, right? So our whole lives is based upon being a debt slave. But even as a country, I think we're pretty well known for being in debt. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt become booties unto them? This is where it gets a little interesting. This is talking about another nation, or nations, or people that come and to spoil this nation. Because you have spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil you, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and all that dwell therein. Woe! I mean, come on. Because of men's blood, how many people has the United States military killed in the last 50 years. I mean, millions of people. It's crazy. Woe to him that covets an evil covetousness, to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. I have a construction company. I lay tile, right? So I'm a tile contractor, and I tell you what, people set their houses on high. Trust me, they pay some money to put some tile in a shower. It's it's crazy. And in Haggai, it talks about how the people lived in these sealed houses. It says in King James, and the word actually means tiled. Go figure. And it's just homes are such an idol to people. I mean, I've seen people people get super super nitpicky with tile, and I'm very detailed, and I'll get in there and I'll do a great job. But I mean, I'm talking about people want to go crazy on some tile stuff. I've had some people just completely go psychotic about tile in a shower that they're probably never going to use. It's like the guest bathroom. Oh man. But anyways, they may set his nest on, and this also is talking about the nation itself, setting itself on high, right? But again, a nation is not far off from the majority, the masses of the people, right? When you can't really talk about a nation in a sense where it's only the leadership, the people are very much at fault as well. Not all the people, you gotta think about the remnant, right? There's always this remnant that's doing the right thing, and that's seeking the truth, right? And that's walking by the Spirit, walking with the Spirit, and really serving the Most High. And but the majority of the people, you can absolutely, they're pretty much going right in line with what the leadership is all about. You have consulted shame to your house by cutting off many people, and have sinned against your soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that builds a town with blood, and establishes a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of Yahuwah that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yah, as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him that gives his neighbor drink, that puts the bottle to him and makes him drunken, that you may look upon their nakedness. You are filled with shame for glory. Drink you also, and let your foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yah's right hand shall be turned to you, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. I kind of see this verse 16, talking about let your foreskin be uncovered, because it's the uncircumcision, right? They're uncircumcised, right? They still have the foreskin. They're still circumcised. They're not in a covenant, right? They're this nation that, like, come on, America's a Christian nation, right? Oh, we got all these, preachers running around doing all these crusades, and you got millions of people gatherings, and America, this Kanye Sunday service gatherings, and Americans just all about Jesus and all about Christianity. And come on, people, get real. No, it's not. No, they're not. They might be all about Jesus and Christianity, but what does that mean? Who's Jesus, and what's Christianity? That's that's what you got to see. You can't just see, somebody said Jesus, or somebody said they're a Christian, right? So what? What does that mean? If you tell me your definition of what a Christian is, and I'll tell you if that's what I am or not. You tell me who Jesus is, and I'll tell you if that's who I believe or not. So that's what I see when I see verse 16. Let your foreskin be uncovered. Let your uncovenant with the Most High be uncovered. Let the covenant that you think that you have with the Most High be uncovered that you really don't have, right? Because the cup of Yah's right hand will be turned to you, and shameful spewing shall be on your glory. What did Yahusha say? If you are lukewarm, I will spew you out of my mouth. A shameful spewing shall be on your glory. For violence of Lebanon shall cover you, and the spoil of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land and the city that dwell therein. What profits the graven image and the maker thereof that has graven it, and the molten image and the teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusts therein, to make dumb idols? Woe to him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath in the midst of it. But Yah is in his temple, let all the earth keep silence before him. Amen. And then chapter 3, you got the prayer of Habakkuk. I don't really have a lot to say on this. Habakkuk actually pulls some words from some Psalms, and basically is you could put this chapter in with the Psalms and it would fit nicely. And there's some information in here. There's some it's good, but I just don't really have much to say about it. So that's kind of what I had gotten from Habakkuk as far as the nation. But again, when you read this through, you're kind of left with yourself like, what's the vision, right? Well, what's the, it sounds exciting. It's like, oh, write the vision down, make it plain, so whoever reads it can run. But I just read all that, and I'm like, what am I supposed to go run and do? Because I'm like, I want to follow Yah. I want to follow whatever his word says to do, right? So I got to read this, and I'm like, I'm looking for some type of instruction. And I'm not really finding any, except to not be a part of whatever they're talking about, right? So I'll have to explain that in a different video. It'll be about Haggai and Zechariah. So be on the lookout for that. I've been wanting to do it for a while now. I wanted to do like a nice YouTube video with illustrations and just how people put together a nice YouTube video with some scenes, and I can't do it. I don't know what to do. So I'm not really concerned about doing. I want to reach people, and people, like, it's hard for people to sit here and listen to somebody talk. I do it all the time. I listen to people talk for 3 or 4 hours, and it don't bother me. But people want to be able to see stuff. So, anyways, be on the lookout for that. And I don't have much more to say except that I've heard people talk about America being not being in the Bible, or why can't I find? Well, here's America right here in the Bible. These things are being revealed to us as we go. So somebody might have said 5-10 years ago, America is not in the Bible. A couple years later, we're reading about America in the Bible because what's going on around us. And we're able to see differently than we did 5 years ago. So let me know what you guys think. And I have some more information pertaining to this, and that's the video that I'm going to do next. I might even record it in a few minutes. But they'll both be up on YouTube very soon. And I don't do editing or anything like that, so as soon as I hit stop, I just upload it to YouTube. But I'm going to go ahead and maybe record that other one right now, because it's just, this information is just so good, and it's just so interesting and eye-opening. We just need to get ourselves thinking about what's coming, right? And just explore every angle of it, what could happen. I'm talking to a computer right now. I have no idea who's ever going to watch this. I don't have a congregation that I go to. So I don't go to church. I don't have people around me. I have one brother that lives out of town. You guys know who he is. Um, but I just like I don't have any people to talk. So to me, I'm just talking to a computer right now. So it's kind of hard for me to do a teaching when I'm just speaking to a small opening. And but anyways, I want to go ahead and just get this information out because it's just you just can't hold information back. It's not right. So anyways, love you guys, and I will see about getting this one going as well. So, shalom.